Hello, everyone. Just jumping online and hoping the stream is coming through to both YouTube and um, my group. So let's just see if it's coming through. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just wanted confirmation that it was working. Okay, so I am using a streaming surface, or service, so I won't be able to see your comments. So I'll just take a moment in a few minutes to check. Oh, good, I see someone. So if you can just tell me, Anne, if you can hear me, and then I'll know that everything's sounding okay, and we can begin. So as usual, just giving people an opportunity to um, join us, and let's see. Okay, and we can begin. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to give a little bit of a grace period, and that word's going to come up a lot, the word grace, because that's where we're going tonight. And I expect it to be fairly emotional. I am wearing mascara, which was probably a bad idea, but I guess I have to put my camera face on, so I risk it. However, we will see. So let's just. Which was probably a bad idea. Great. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure the sound was good. Okay. So we'll just give everybody maybe 2 more minutes. So hopefully you have a comfy spot picked. Yeah, because I feel that given the political environment and the energy that is coming through my body, which is my channel, that's how I sense into, what uh, I guess the feeling is. It might be quite deep and quite emotional, quite teary, because I think the earth weeps right now with everything that's going on. And I just want to remind everybody that this is a sacred space. It's not a political platform. I am not a individual that would speak to any position publicly. I certainly try out different philosophies, with my family and friends and stuff, but this is not I call it my lane. My lane is to bring healing and support to you as um, an opportunity to have a soft space to land, to contemplate, to reflect, and consider what the internal messages that come out from our healings and our gatherings. Um, I also I think something that I've talked about many, many times is I'm huge on bringing people together. So it's something I actually was an event coordinator, TV coordinator at one point. So I was always organizing and bringing people together, and it translates well into my sole purpose, which was ultimately in creating opportunities for people to heal. So, anyway, as I ramble, I'll just begin. Sorry, I forgot one thing that's really important. Um, we'll begin. Okay, so welcome everybody. My name is Jen Kilmer, and if you're new to this space, because I am going on YouTube now, so there'll be probably new people to me finding these healings and gatherings. What this is a group of people that are coming together to heal, and that's probably I talk about my favorite words, and heals pretty high up on the list, and I think it's probably a pretty key word at this point in time. So, as I was mentioning, um, this is a place of healing and sacred opportunity to go deep. And the word for the night or the two words rather for the night are peace and grace. And I think we could use a lot of that tonight, a lot of support, because everywhere we look, I feel like the energy is spinning my head. I don't know where to look for the truth. I don't know where to look to feel confidence. I don't know where I know we're being torn down and reshaped, but as to, how that's going to unfold, it feels uncomfortable. So I totally agree in terms of it being challenging and difficult. But what I do always come back to is that space of hope and faith. And so as we connect to the celestial beings of light, and I feel some of the animal totem energies actually maybe joining us, because I think the animals are, wise teachers in their symbolism, and so I do feel a visit from the energy of the tortoise. I connect to that energy a lot, just because my personality can be a rush forward personality, and because of all my tools, I like to get in there, fix the situation, and move forward. But, and that's probably how we're all feeling. When is this going to be over? What is the end? What's it going to look like? How's it going to be shaped? And we really can't rush this process. We have to walk slowly and carefully. And I was speaking to a family member, and they were talking about this evening, and they were talking about, they were stuck, but they didn't want help, and they wanted to stay stuck. And that is certainly an option. It's an option that you can take. It is your divine right. It is available to you. But I kind of reflected, because I said, well, you have all of these things that you can tap into, and they just wanted to haul up in their position and stay stuck. And so the message of this very small steps kept coming in, and that's that tortoise. I actually came upon a tortoise about a week and a half ago, and it was quite a moment that I needed to, it was kind of strange. This tortoise just was like in the middle of a 30-acre field on a path, but just me and the little tortoise, and the powerful energy of you. So if you can just kind of think of that energy of plotting, and just that careful, cautious, but purposeful, they're saying purposeful energy, and how powerful that energy is. And so in speaking to my family member, I was just saying, it always is the small things, the small purposeful things that we do that get us through. And I know that's probably psychology 101, but here I am. It's, we have to be reminded of this over and over and over again. So things that bring us comfort and support are, the things like brushing our teeth. I'm not saying brushing your teeth is the way where to go right now, but meditation, prayer, community, your tribe, so your group, connecting with your people. Journaling. I feel like journaling is something that I've been leaning into, kind of out of character for me. I do write, but I've picked up journaling again, and dream work. So it's been quite an incredible time for dreams. So are you recording them? Is that something that you've considered doing? So doing all of this kind of purposeful work is so helpful to help us for the big show. And I don't mean the big show, but the big challenges. So that's that practice that we talk about. So when we do meditation, it's really just practice for all the other times that you're not on your mat. So every time you sit, you're practicing your observation, you're practicing being present, you're practicing feeling into the emotion without running or avoiding or distracting. You're holding that sacred space. So when we are confronted, which is, most of the time, we have sharpened that saw. So we have practiced, and we can continue to show up at each moment. And so again, it is the small stuff. So, this Tuesday night group, it may seem insignificant, but maybe during times like this, it gives you hope. It gives you, something to say, okay, I know on Tuesday night, I'm going to be forced to look within, maybe on a different level than my daily meditation, because I do feel like we have a tremendous amount of support when we do our healing work, especially these evening live events. So we're going to really go deeper. We're really going to say, okay, I have the courage to look. And so I really want to also remind us that I know it's not political, this, but just in my Facebook and Instagram posts, I was feeling compelled to say that the pendulum, is swinging quite wildly right now. So to the left, we see this perspective, to the right, we see that perspective, and then vice versa. And, I just know that whenever we pick a position, we're always usually humbled. We're always usually reminded of something that we're missing. So, for instance, whenever I've seen a public outcry over something, and I'm not saying that it's not warranted for the current situation, but sometimes information comes out that people are like, oh, so we can very quickly grab a pitchfork and rage against something only to then find out more information. And I'm not saying it applies to this situation, but many other times I've witnessed that, even in my own journey. So I'm talking more about the whole political platform right now. So just honor your internal experience, honor neutrality, become the watcher. Become the watcher. So do your listening, do your reflecting, do your contemplating, but before you, pick up a pitchfork and make a decision, I think that we need to pause. And so tonight I feel the energy of that peace and grace, and I feel we're going to take a bit of a pause in our meditation for silence tonight to honor, of course, the victim, George, but also all of the tragic energy that I can feel. So not only is his story so tragic, but I feel such tragedy for the earth. I feel tragedy for humanity. I feel tragedy. I actually feel tragedy for the dark side, because really it's looking for power out of pain. It's coming from a place of lack. It's coming from a place of, what people might call hell. So distance from creator, distance from home, distance from God. And so I feel the dark side just doesn't know that it has other options. And so we always have to remember that when we see our bully, when we see our victimizer, when we see the perpetrator with more heavenly eyes, with more eagle eyes, a broader perspective, a deeper heart, it doesn't mean that we have to say what they're doing is right, but we can begin to understand and move into an energy of compassion, grace, and peace. And there are those words, grace and peace, again coming through. But we can't really get there unless we pause. And again, there's that word. And words are very powerful for me. So that's kind of how I connect the energy and the messages to these words. And these words are like doorways into your soul. So they awaken different parts of your DNA. They awaken different memories within you. They awaken different options and potentials within you. So when I highlight words, it's like I'm taking a highlighter or an underliner or a circle, and I'm circling them because I really want them to resonate and vibrate through your body, because they're what some people call codes. I call them, I see them as a key, because I feel they're unlocking things within you. Okay, so again, there are so many narratives that are happening, and like I said, I'm kind of being political without being picking a side, because I don't think I can anymore at this stage. I have, though, picked God's side, and that doesn't mean that I'm not doing my part. It doesn't mean that I'm not showing up in my personal life and doing what my role is, but I just know that the more I do from a healing standpoint, the more I neutrally align to seeing Earth and humanity moving into a greater state of healing, with the presence of grace at my back, that the right situation will be revealed, the right step will be revealed, and the right door will open. And I know that 2020 is going to be uncomfortable. I know that a lot of channels, a lot of people that see into the energy and read the energies and read the astrological, movements, 2020 is going to be uncomfortable. So like anything that we are, any situation where we're doing something that requires that tortoise energy, that, kind of 1 foot, 1 brick, 1 step at a time, we all know that if we watch the clock, it's just going to seem like it's going to take forever. So what can we do to create a more loving and hopeful energy? What can we do within our family, within our neighborhood, and within our community to spread love and not fear and hate? So one place is to come together tonight on Tuesday nights, and I'm sure you can think of many, many other places and ways that you can and spread this optimism and energy, because that's one thing that you have is divine light and energy within you. And so each time you choose love, you could be making the difference of life and death. We've all heard of stories where someone is considering ending their life and they have an interaction with someone at a grocery store or somewhere and it can feel the energy behind some of these examples that makes them choose life, makes them say, okay, I can live another day. And so each interaction, if we can bring love and awareness to it, who knows where that ripple can end up. And there's that, the image of the butterfly flapping its wings. And I think I said it last week, in like the east and having created a tidal wave in the west. Okay, so enough rambling from me. I really want to get to the energy tonight because I feel it very, very, very strongly. Last week we worked on grief and really letting go of everything that we're trying to hold on to, because it really is a process of letting go of all that we thought we were, all that we thought we needed, all that we thought we had to have to emerge from this time of great change, great challenge into a whole new level of self. All right, so I would love you to find a really, really supported place in your home so that you feel safe, loved, and held by the earth. And we'll begin. So like we've been doing, I wish to call upon the archangels to now join us. And I just wanted to let you know that I lit a candle for the energy of the pain that's really waving through the earth right now. And that candle, it signifies that hope. So I'll just show you right before we start. So this is my candle of hope. And as it burns tonight, it stands with us as we move through this energy. So I do apologize that it seems quite heavy, but I know by the end of our journey tonight, I feel that we'll find that rest that we're looking for. Okay, so calling in the sacred directions. So just taking a few deep breaths. And we'll begin with our 4-4-4 breath. So breathing in to the count of 4. And as you breathe in, you're extending your belly. Holding for the count of 4. And then exhaling to the count of 4. And you can draw your belly in to your rib cage. Breathing in. Holding. And breathing out. And letting it go. And if I've triggered you in any way, and I truly don't mean to, try to stay as neutral and hopeful and peaceful as I can, I want you to just allow those triggers or static energy to begin to melt. So breathing in as you expand your belly, holding and breathing out and releasing anything that is troubling or unsettling. And I can just feel the celestial energies now beginning to come, and I want you to imagine that they form a circle all around us tonight. We are in an inner circle. They are the outer circle. And so they form a ring of, I feel like rose kind of pink energies all around us. And you may see another color or colors, but I just feel that energy of compassion. Almost like the shirt that I'm wearing, those rose colors. And they bring in a sense of protection so that we can begin to surrender into the body. And so specifically now I want to call to Archangel Raphael, the guardian of the East, and the color yellow. And upon Archangel Raphael's shoulder, we call upon the great eagle. So working with the element of air, the color yellow, the Archangel Raphael, and the great eagle. You can just feel that pillar of the East strong and firm. And now I call Archangel Michael, guardian of the South, and the element of fire, the color red. This fire of transformation rages through us at this time as we go through such challenging heat, challenging change, challenge all around us at this time with no end in sight, no known end. But we hold Archangel Michael close to us, resting in his wisdom, in the wisdom of the divine, that all of this is being done for such a greater purpose, that there is purpose and meaning to our toiling, purpose to our transformation and challenge. And beside Archangel Michael, we feel and call in the wolf. The wolf also being strong, fierce, and courageous. And now to the west, I call Archangel Gabriel, guardian of the west, the element of water, and the color blue. This is a place of kindness and mercy as we heal and experience the waves of emotion that ripple through the body, the waves that seem never-ending, continuous, and can sometimes feel overwhelming to the point where we can't catch our breath on some days. But we all know, having been to the waters, that they do return to a more peaceful state. Sometimes they rage for a while, but they always return to peace. And in this peace is a new beginning waiting for us to harness. And we call upon the Great Bear. And feeling into the energy of the Great Bear, protective, that known mother energy, the Great Bear, that we are not forsaken and lost, but this energy walks with us. Archangel Uriel, the guardian of the north, and we call upon her, the element of the earth, and the color green and black. This is the energy of the North Star. I feel it's often reminds me of the energy of home. It's like a beacon. And so feeling into the wisdom energies of the north. And I feel they're showing me a guiding light. So just know that that guiding light is always there. Sometimes it's cloudy and we cannot see. but it never leaves. We may not see it. It may escape our gaze from time to time, but it is always there. And so during those times where you can't see, we have to remind ourselves that we do have a compass. We do have a star pointing us home. We just have to be patient. And here we invite the energies of white buffalo. And just feeling the energies of purity and innocence of the white energies of the north, of the buffalo. And then I call upon Archangel Metatron, the element of ether, the angelic realm and divine consciousness, and our multi-dimensional light beings. And this is the galactic energies that we feel are watching above us. So there's been a lot of mention of the galactics over time, and I certainly do too connect to the galactics and consider them our brethren, our distant cousins, if you want to call them that. But we are not alone. And so our brothers and sisters of the light allow us to do the work that we need to do, but always keeping us within a certain safe range. So they don't let us go too far off. We are kept within a range so that we can learn our lessons, so we can tidy up the injustices of the earth, the pain and trauma of our past, so that we can make things right. And below, I call Archangel Sandalphon, Mother Earth, beloved Gaia, and the sacred core, and all of the elements, the stones and the crystals, the plants and trees. And so just feeling the energies of the earth beneath you, feeling her almost like a little bit joyful for her time of healing, that she is getting a rest, less of everything is being consumed, used, and abused. And so you can just imagine how much of an impact that is having on her energies. And so there's almost like they're finally getting it. Humans are finally getting it. Because what more do we need? What more do we need to seek, to obtain, to extrapolate, to consume? And this goes for me too, all of us. So as we review, and I think we need to honor the amount of time that this experience has gone on for, because I think if it was a shorter amount of time, we would not have arrived at the level of self-awareness. We needed this amount of self-inquiry to see. For a lot of people can finally see. And so holding gratitude for a moment to Mother Earth and her wisdom, that mothers often and always generally do know best. I'm not saying they're not perfect. We all make mistakes. But just the energy of the Divine Mother and having faith as you lay in her bosom of energy. And finally, now, the sacred center, you. This is a place of balance and sacred union we aim to achieve this evening within. This is the oneness, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, the God goddess. And this place of deep healing, this place that you go to, a lot of people say they fall asleep, they drift, but this is the timeless place that you slip into. And it is such a deep place of healing and rest that is what brings sleep. And sleep, we know, when we're sick, what do we do? We sleep more. We remove all external focus and we go deep within. And sometimes that takes us to a point of, rest. So if you do let go all the way, just know that you are still healing and you are exactly where you need to be. And so from this sacred space in your heart, from this sacred center, we will aim to arrive We will aim to remove ourselves from all of this duality, from all of these positions, platforms. They will be there tomorrow. They will be there in a half an hour. But as you remove yourself, I want you to now take a moment and imagine yourself from the sacred center calling all of your energy back. And so I want to open with this exercise because we don't realize how much of our energy we are scattering across many outlets, many arguments. There's a lot of arguing that's happening on social media right now. There's a lot of division that's happening. So I want you to imagine from this place, this sacred space of the void of you, of your heart, you begin to call all of your energy back. And so this may take a few moments. It may even take some convincing to your energy to let go of something that's keeping you anchored and polarized. So I want you to just focus on the breath, and with each breath, I want you to lovingly call your energy back into your body. Call it all the way back to you. And as you call it back, you leave wherever it was, you leave it with love. You say, Namaste. I see you, I respect you, and you call all of your energy back. And so there's a lot of negativity in the world, a lot of difficulties and discomforts that are triggering our pain. And so darkness feeds on that. That's the snack food, that's the fuel of darkness. So as we call all of our energy back with love and grace, we begin to feel more peaceful, more whole. And we quickly realize we don't need anything. Everything that we need is within us. And so as we release whatever we're holding on to, wherever we are, and we call ourselves all the way back home to our hearts, I want you to imagine your energy returning to you, returning home, so that you can receive from yourself, so that you can be whole and you can rest. And so just be the watcher of anything that may come up, where you're not willing to let go, where you're not willing to trust. And calling at your energy all the way back to your heart. And if you're struggling with calling some of your energy back, I want you to ask yourself this question: what am I holding on to that I cannot let go? What am I getting out of wanting to hold on to this still? What is it feeding within me? And for those that have easily called their energy back, lending your support through just your intention, not lending your energy, but just an intention that everyone retreats into their heart, into a place of neutrality and love. And so from this place now, we can begin to bring our awareness now to the body, the top of the head, as you surrender the head into a sacred, soft space, whether it's on the mat. You let go, you deepen, and you breathe. And you soften your third eye, your forehead. And with each breath, you relax and release. And as we move through this waves of the tragedies, the injustices, and the waves of emotion that are moving through the earth plane right now, control, rage, you let it go. It's for we cannot fight with a fight. We must be peaceful. We must be that which we seek. And so we soften our ears and we surrender and we open ourselves to perspectives, to negotiation, to possibilities. We soften our jaws and our mouth as we can fill a room with a smile, with positivity. And it doesn't mean turning a blind eye, but we need to remember to seek that which we have already accomplished. Seek out what is working. Seek out what we do well and enhance it. And allow that which doesn't fit anymore to shrivel and drop off, like losing a leaf. And then relaxing our throat and reminding ourselves now of that sacred energy of the sound that moves through our throat, the sacredness of a word, the vibration and the tone of which it resonates with. I always listen to how people say a word, for that speaks more than the word, but the resonance and the tone. So just feeling any tension in your throat opening and softening, and just feeling your own story, your own narrative, your own fear possibly coming up to be received, because there is a lot unknown right now. There is a lot to create fear all around us, and so we must honor it. We must release that energy with love and acceptance. And as we reconcile the body, as we reconcile our life each day, as we do our self-inquiry, whether through prayer, meditation, contemplation, journaling, we ask ourselves, did I act in the best of my ways, the best of my abilities? Did I use fear or love to guide my actions? And so if we're all working with reconciliation energy, self-inquiry, we are winning the war. And that is winning a war. That is how we battle, how we fight. We do our internal work for peace. And then moving into our heart, dropping your shoulders, and just allow the shoulders to open your heart and just surrender the burdens that you carry, the burdens of doing enough, carrying other people's, bundles, if you want to call it, but carrying their backpacks, their suitcases. Allow them to carry their lives. Allow them the dignity that when they are ready to shift, when they are ready to see, when they are ready to awaken, it will be the time for them. So not to carry the burden of their awakening, the timing of it, but allow them the dignity to receive that when that moment strikes. And so as you draw your energy back to yourself and release that of theirs, you feel deeper peace. And so the strain of carrying other people's awakening really brings a sense of calm into your body, because I think some of us are carrying the weight of the world. And that saying really applies to this when we carry other people's journeys. For no person can do it for another. They truly will awaken when it is their time. And so in that space, beneath that burden, is joy. And as joy increases, it catches. You can create, you can make a difference by bringing joy to a space, to a forum, to a family gathering, to a stranger. And I think we are always in a place of the divine masculine of wanting to solve and make better instantly. And that is not always our place or the right path. Sometimes it's just the divine feminine of allowing and experiencing and observing. And so even in this time of uncertainty and a great challenge, the peace of the divine feminine can create the change, can create the dawning energy for another. So within that inaction of peace is great action within the heart of another. And so trust this process. Trust these difficulties have a purpose. Trust in the times that there have been great challenge, the ways and changes and difference that it made for civil rights, for equality. No one said it would be easy. Nothing worth achieving is ever easily obtained, for then it is taken for granted. And so moving into your heart and feeling that inner knowing, a blossoming of the heart opens. And I feel a sense of reassurance coming online now as you awaken the heart and your connection to the divine, as it opens in the energy of hope, peace, and grace. And then moving down to the belly, this place of action, divine transformation, our solar plexus. What are you doing? What small steps are you taking or not taking in your life to create change in your reality, in your small space, your world? What can you do in your own small way? Maybe it's hanging a flag outside of your home. Maybe it's delivering meals, lending a hand to an elderly neighbor. Just really coming online more and more in our community. For heroes, this is a very strong energy, are often not famous. They are the everyday hero. The police officer that takes the snacks to the kids throws the football, reaches out. Any one of us can be a hero to another. So feel the hero energy within your belly. Feel that warrior energy become heroic energy. And so I know the energy of fight and toil can seem powerful, but true power is empowering others. How can you empower others? And then feeling the sacral energies and just reminding us in this place of peace, in this state of inaction and neutrality, we can still find change. And this change that I feel is creative change. So this is the innovation, the creative ideas, the sharing on forums, whether it's anything from a reduce reuse forum to sharing recipes, to reduce consumption, to trade, to barter, to share, to support, to uplift. So feeling the energies of the sacral really, rather than being caught in the shadow of the sacral, which is the emotional element of the water, feeling your creativity come online. So for all those that made masks, or all those that are spreading joy in other ways, feel your creative juices. It's like a switch gets flipped on, and you can bring and impact, empower, and create that change. Be the change that you seek. And then lastly, into the hips, the root chakra, the grounding of the legs. And just feeling that energy of trust. Trust Mother Earth. Trust the divine process. Trust the fires of transformation. Instead of railing and fighting and positioning and lobbying, feel the energy of empowerment, trust, and love. And so in this sacred space, with the celestial rose bubble all around us, I want to take a few moments of silence. And I want to honor various layers of society. So I want to honor the injustices, the tragedies, the pain and the suffering that so many people are facing. And I want to create a space of love and peace and hope. And I want you to feel the energies of love and hope, but in a state of faith and gratitude to the divine, that it is already sending healing, that our petitions for healing and supporting these pockets and places and energies and situations of tragedy and difficulty are just being met with healing, as we call in the healing light. As we call in the grace and peace of God. And holding this energy of love, gratitude for the healing, compassion for the suffering, but met with hope. Hope for the new earth, for change and transformation. And then I want to widen the bubble now to include all those that are in pain and inflicting pain, because they do this because the hurt. And so how do they know? Because I've been that person before too. And the shame I felt after waking up could have done me in. And so that is not an easy walk. But feeling the compassion for those that are causing the suffering and really bringing them that supportive energy of grace so that they may see and know a better way, so that they may feel within their heart the love of the divine calling them to awaken and to heal. And also trust that the divine, they're just showing me often the assignment of the bully is often an assignment, a teacher. And so I know that that may be difficult to digest, but we all play roles and mirrors in each other's lives. Someone said something to me recently that caused a sting, but it was exactly what I needed to create momentum of change. And so the stinger is not the one to be blamed. It's how we receive the message, how we decide to react. So as we remove the judgment of thinking about determining what we think they are, let's just look at them as the divine light and bring that love, light, gratitude, and support to their role. And if we can quicken the unfolding of the new earth and avoid further pain, that is our destiny. If we can shorten the role of the hurt, the suffering, and the challenge, then it is so. And so I feel very much almost like empowerment coming from you all, realizing that we can love our enemies. We can see with neutrality and balance. Again, it does not say it is right, but it realizes that there is healing that can come, grace. And so now widening, almost like you're widening your arms of love, compassion, peace, hope, and grace to include all beings, seen and unseen, light and dark, so that we can come to a place of peace where all needs are met, all thoughts and theories are considered, and love prevails. And so I want you to take a moment and say, if there's a private intention for someone, something, I want you to take a moment in this energy of grace to just send your healing and loving thoughts to that situation. And then I want you to turn your awareness back to yourself and just be in that state of love, grace, and peace. or as you carry that energy from this sacred space into your life, that you may spread it through the touch of a hand, the words that you say, the look in your eyes, the smile across your face, and the gestures that you extend. And so reminding yourself as we face the coming month, the coming weeks, the challenges upon us, that we always come back to the state of grace. And so it is. And so feel free to continue to, I feel like some of you could pause for a little longer, could rest a little longer in this energy, to bask in its love and light. And so don't feel like you have to rush back or rush out, but enjoy the sacred energies that we created tonight. And I really want to thank the angels, thank the energies of the animal spirits, particularly the wisdom of the tortoise, because the journey is hard, and there's a lot of distractions, and there's a lot of difficult terrain that we're navigating. And so the tortoise is, it's a great teacher, and we will get there. We will. It is already written. It is already determined. It is already known. We will get there. But, how do you want to show up? Do you want to show up with your dignity? Do you want to show up with integrity? Or do you want to show up, having scarred people, bitten, fought your way through? And so I always think of that, and I'm not perfect at this. It's a challenge for me too, but how do I want to complete this? And so I know it's hard, but we're all in this together. And as long as we come together, we can do amazing things. And so that is our session for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. You can listen to it again if you are looking for that space to fall into, that grace. This stuff can be repeated. And I really am grateful for you joining. Namaste.